The Supreme Court has put on hold its judgment in the ongoing legal battle over the Edo State governorship election, leaving the fate of Senator Monday Obekpolo hanging in the balance. The Apex Court on Thursday announced that it would communicate a later date for delivering its verdict after hearing final arguments in the appeal filed by Asue Ighodalo and his party, the People's Democratic Party. Justice Garba Lawal, who presided over the proceedings, made it clear that judgment has been adjourned indefinitely.
This appeal, or the appeal, the appellant, as the PDP, came back to the Supreme Court on same issues to canvass an issue that is a mere academic exercise. I don't know what they want the Supreme Court to do. Whether they're going to manufacture all that is from heaven, I don't know. But so far so good. We are good to go. APC is good to go. The government is good to go.
Yes, I want to thank the judiciary. It's the hope of a common man. We've gone through first stage, second stage, this is the third one. And it's not a...
I'm now joined by Constitutional Lawyer Jide Ologun to take us through the judgment and the Edo State matter. Thank you very much for being with us in the studio.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
This is indefinite. We don't know when they will be coming back. What are your thoughts about this adjournment?
You know, the Supreme Court will communicate the date for the parties to come for the judgment to be delivered. And since 1963, when we became a republic, that has been the highest court in the land. So that is the third stage. So after that pronouncement, then the case will be closed. And if you go by the precedents before now, at the tribunal level, it was difficult proving that the APC governorship candidate did not win the elections. If you go by Section 131 of the Evidence Act 2011, it says if you approach the court concerning any right or liability and you allude to some facts, the burden is on you to prove those facts. And in this particular case, particularly springing from the tribunal, even though PDP made reference to about 765 polling units where there were massive irregularities, then non-serialization of vital documents, non-compliance with the Electoral Act, and some other allegations. Those were not proved before the court. And that also was confirmed at the appellate level, because even though Beaver's machines were presented before the tribunal, documents don't speak for themselves. You have to call your witnesses and establish your facts, which they've not been able to do. But that is not to preempt the final decision of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but what's your take on the issues around witnesses, the testimonies that was given by witnesses, and the controversy around the Beaver's machine? How would that factor in?
I just mentioned it now. Documents don't speak for themselves. I think about 19 witnesses were presented, out of which about 5 were from the polling units. And you are talking of about 765 polling units. What about the presiding officers? You see, you need all this to build up your case. And in the law school, we're taught that you keep your gunpowder dry all through the proceedings. You see, so these are vital elements, and the court pointed them out. In fact, the court made reference to the fact that it was like it just came dumping materials before us. You must prove them, call witnesses, and that opportunity was given. And that is why in law we need to be careful before jumping to conclusion. It's your case. You have to prove it. The court will not in any way step out of the way.
Okay, I know there are limits to the things we can discuss because
absolutely, yeah, that's why I said without preempting.
Yes, I wanted to ask you your assessment of the arguments presented by both parties. Were you satisfied with the defense both ways?
They spoke from different angles, praying before the court. PDP saying dislodge the decision of the tribunal and the Court of Appeal and pronounce our candidate winner. And APC is saying no, affirm the decision of the tribunal and the Court of Appeal that confirmed the victory of their candidate. So we are waiting for the Supreme Court, presided over by 5 justices, to come out with their final verdict. So what I did was just to go backwards to review what happened at the tribunal level, which is the main arena for you to marshal your case and prove your case. Because if you go beyond the tribunal level, they are now making reference to points of law, and that opportunity has gone. And like I said, perhaps when the final decision is given, we may be back to review and we can learn. You know, we keep building the finesse of jurisprudence. But I just rolled out the basic tool you need as a litigation practitioner.
Yeah, I know this is not new in this country, the court ruling, and there is an impact. Talk to us about the likely implications for Edo State, however the court might rule.
The implication is that, like I mentioned earlier, Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. So whatever decision comes out of Supreme Court, Edo State must be prepared to ride on with that decision. So the next question now is that, how will democracy benefit from the decision? How will good governance be delivered to the citizens? And I think I leave that to the politicians who are privileged to occupy office and who perhaps are interested in sustainability, particularly in the heart of the electorate, who should be the judges at the political level of their performance. So by and large, I think as soon as possible, the Supreme Court should invite them for the final verdict. I think the tribunal ruled on the 2nd of April, then the Court of Appeal May 29, and I hope that within a very short moment, so that to keep the tempo and the suspense not too long, that Supreme Court will pronounce, and after that, maybe the next place for appeal is God's court, and governance should proceed. And that's why I respect what some are proposing. That why don't we have a scenario where, and this was in the recommendations of Honorable Justice Uwais late, that, you know, resolve some of these electoral matters before a governor is sworn into office, so that we don't have a situation where a candidate is already occupying office and the matter is still in court. And we hope that the National Assembly, empowered by Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution to make laws for the peace, orderliness, and good government in Nigeria, will look in that direction. And the next question you may want to ask is that, of what benefit will it be to politicians? So the interests of the politicians who represent us in the National Assembly may override the interests of the generality of the citizens and the nation.
Thank you very much for speaking with us.
You're welcome.